You're all welcome to. You're all, oh, Doc, thank you so much, Dr. Irene, for recording for me. Thank you so much. Okay. Last week, we looked at yes, I'm coming, just a minute. Okay, yes. Last week, structures or format which has been left for us to look at it, to carefully go through them step by step, because it is an idea or a means of communicating to the scholarly community. So it's very important you follow those format or structure so that your idea can be communicated very well. So we look at the structures and we said there is this structure. Can my screen be seen too as well? Let me be sure
yes,
that
please.
before.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So we look at the IMRaD structure, where we say the I is the introduction. I'm sorry, my voice is a bit worrying me today, so you bear with me. We said the I is the introduction, the M is the method, and the R is the results, and the AD is the discussion and discussion. So these are the structure which you must follow when you are writing your research article. And last week we looked at that of the I and the M, which is the introduction and the method. Today's class will focus on the result and that of the discussion, how to go about them. But before we go into that, I want us to take a short review on what we learned last week. Then we'll move to that. So first, we look at the understanding of that's last week. We look at how to understand the why it's important for us to go through all those things. And we said it is the standard blueprint for every research article or most research articles, specifically in the scientific and the social science field, which they follow this standard or structure so that they can be able to put the idea or whatever they want to communicate to the scholarly community. And also we said it helps to make things clear or makes it credible for people to also give credit to you, because it means that you have gone deep into it. You have been able to put something together to follow a certain pattern, and it gives you credibility. And also we move ahead to look at each step or each structure in the IMF structure. And we said the first one is the introduction. And we said the introduction, it starts from the broader content. Yeah, please, if you know your background is noisy and you can mute your mic, it will be so good for us so we can all hear. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so we said it is a progression. You start from the broader context, then you narrow it down to the gap, and also now narrow it to what you want to work on. That is your research. So broader context, identifying the gap, then you now come to where your research is now filling in. And very important, that's what we talked about last week in the introduction, the broader context, the identifying the gap, then we move now into your research, which you are bringing on board, and very important in your introduction. So in your, Dr. Efua, can you please mute your mic? Dr. Michael, can you please mute your mic? Thank you very much. Yes, so we said this is the way it must go. You identify the gap, you start from the bigger context, you establish the fact that this has been done already. Then you now move into where the gap is, what you are trying to work on, the question which you are trying to solve, or the problem which you are trying to solve. Then now you move down to what you are about to do. That is your objective, your research question, and your hypothesis. Yeah, then that is basically what we said it must be included in the what research introduction, the introduction of your research. Okay, then now we move on to yes, we talk about how strategic you can be in writing them. You must not make it too broad. You must not bring in dump literatures. You must be able to sort them out, find which one is connecting to another, and also not mix the context. Then we look at that of the method, yes, which is the next thing we look at. The method. We said the method is how you went about the work. How was it done? If you are saying you want to do this, how will it be done? How is it going to be carried out? So in the method, you articulate step by step what you want to do. So we said one of the key things you must include, depending on your field, is the participant, the materials you use, the procedures must be stated step by step. Experimental, if it is an experimental, you state them from here. I went to this one, I measured this, I used 2 volume cups of water, or this. Everything must be stated. Everything must be stated clearly, so that anyone who picks your work will be able to reproduce the same thing or replicate the same thing. It's very important. It must be clear. It must be clear. And we also say it must include the ethics and the analysis. What kind of analysis are you going to do? What kind of statistics analysis are you going to do? What software are you using? What is the significance level of it? All these things must be included in your methodology, so that anyone who picks the work will be able to find out, or will be able to use this, your method or manual which you have written, to be able to do the same thing. And if the person does that, he must be able to get a result which is closer to your own. Even if there is an error, it shouldn't be that big margin. We give some checklists which we must look out for when we are writing our methodology. Called another researcher replicates this. All the materials specified in this thing. The procedures in chronicle order. They must follow an order. They must follow an order. Yeah, they must follow an order. You must include all your statistics and everything. Okay, and if there is any approval, because we said before you start any research, you write a research proposal. If you have received an approval from any group of people, it must also be included in that part. And we said in writing, you use past tense. It must be past tense. Let's keep that in mind, because you are reporting on what you have done. It is in the past. Okay. Now, today we'll be looking at this where we ended last week. Today we are continuing from this part, which is the result. If you are there with me and you can hear me and you have been following till this time, I want you to type in the chat box, results, 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 results. Yes, results. Very important. Results, yes. When we looked at the first section, we talked about the overview of the 3 fundamental scholarly communications we have. We said one of the thing, or the unique thing about research articles, is that it must be based on result or evidence. And so this part is very important in your work when you are writing a research article. Your result is very important. Your result is very important. Dr. Maxwell, we'll humbly request that you mute your mic, and if possible, your camera too as well. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, your result is very important. Your result is very important. It's very important, because that is what you are going to use to back what you are doing. Is the evidence you have. This is the evidence you have. So the question is, what did you find? You said you have found a problem you want to solve. You have find the problem you want to solve. You have go through the process by which you want to solve the problem, which is the methodology or the method. Now, when you did that, what did you find out? So in this part of the research article, you are just presenting what you have found out. What did I see? When I went around to observe, what did I see? You now present them in this section of your work. You present them in this section of your work. So the result part is what did you find? It's very important. You present your observations here systematically in an orderly manner. So let's look at some of the things which are very necessary in this part of it. So one, sometimes or very mostly or commonly found, we use tables and graphs or charts to do this part of the work. And this is where some of the works we go into the bringing out figures and tables as well to make the work look nice. But there's also something you must know, that it must be on your objective. You can't just include anything into your work because you feel like it is so beautiful or it's so looking good, so I must add it to my work. No. If it is going to be added to your work, then it must be based on your objective, because we state that before you start writing in your introduction, you must state your objective or your research questions. So anything you are presenting here is something which is helping you to achieve what you have stated before that you want to do. So you must keep in mind that it must be objective. It must be based on your objective. You don't just present them anyhow, and it must follow the order of your objective. I think that will help everyone who picks your work to understand exactly what you are doing. So it must follow the order. It must follow the order. If objective one is that to find how many Chinese people in your city, or how many Ghanaian people in your city, then when you come to the result, you must present that first. The number of people in your city, or the number of Ghanaian in your city, that must be presented first. So in that order, it must be an ordering form. You don't mix them up. It must follow an order. So
Hello, Dr. John. Hello.
okay, thank you so much. Yes, so you present that in a data form. Yes, to make anyone who sees it will be able to identify that this is what you are talking about. It gives a quick view to your reader or your audience, and also to summarize statistical measurement or analysis. We use tables to do that. And what of the graph? Graphs, most of the times we are used to show the trend. What trend is it? Where is it starting from? Where is it going? What is the pattern which this result is showing? So mostly we use graph in those aspects. And also we use graph to show the relationship between variables. Yes, what is the relationship? When this one goes down, what happens to the other one? When this one comes up, what happens to the other one? So mostly we use graph. So if you have data which is showing relationship between something, maybe like a correlation or something, it's advisable to use graph to present your data. And also to show comparison across groups. So you may have people in the university, you may have people in the high school, you may have people in the primary level. If you want to show the comparison, how they think or anyhow they do their things, it is best to use graph to show that, and it gives a clear view to anyone who look at it. Yes. What are some of the things we must avoid when we are presenting our data? Most of us are very good at graphics, so we normally bring a lot of 3D effects into our data presentation. And if you do anything which is too much or unnecessary to it, it makes your work look anyhow. It won't give a clear view to the main thing the people are there to read is to read what you are finding out, not the beauty. Or yes, the beauty is good. It makes the work look very nice, but your aim is to communicate what you are finding there. So you don't bring too much 3D effect to take the people's idea from what you have found out, because some of them it makes the work shadow. You don't see, they decorate it so much that when you just see the thing, you are just looking at how they have decorated the thing, but not focusing on the data. So you must remove that. Then excess grid line. Some of us, there are too much grid lines in our works, and also distract the result we have there for people not to see. So we can minimize it. We use less grid lines. Then also scatter legends. Some of us too, we do the thing, we don't simplify or tell that this line means this. We don't put a legend to it. And it is so hard. Let's say a key. Yes, let me put it away in a key. In geography, they call it a key to the graph, a key to the map. So there must be a key to it that when someone picks it, you'll be able to identify that, oh, this red thing in your graph or in your table means this. Most of the time, this is used for graphs. So if they pick it, they will be able to identify what this means and what this is for. So it's very important you add that to it. I place a rule here. It says that every visual element should serve as a communicative purpose. So if you are using visuals to represent your data, everything in your visuals should serve as what? A communicative purpose. It's very key. It's very key. You don't just bring them because you feel they are very beautiful, they look nice, they'll make my work look splendor or anything, but they must communicate something. It must be clear. It must be clear, clearly stated what the figure is showing or what this graph is showing. You must state it. It should be clear. And you should label axes. Yes. And add units to them. You don't just draw the axes anyhow, but you label them. What does this axis mean? And when you are drawing, what value, what unit is attached to this graph? It's very important. Sorry, just a minute. Yes, you must label the axis. You must label the axis. It's very important. You label the axis. You must label it. You must label it. And if you have measurements of values which has been taken over an average, you must include an error bar, which is also very important. You must show the variation in them to see that, okay, there's a little bit of error in this, and that must be shown in your graph so that everything will be seen that indeed this has been done by someone who is an expert in this field. And also you must use appropriate scale when you are using visuals, because most of these things are done in graph. You must use appropriate what skill. You must use appropriate skill. Sometimes we advise some your figure is too much loaded. It is too much loaded with a lot of data or information. And also, one common mistake most people do too is that they use different colors in their work. Yes, it's good to use colors. Someone will say we are color blended, but you should be consistent with your colors. If you are starting with 4 colors in your work, I strongly believe you should maintain those colors. Even if you are going away, they should be close to that. They shouldn't be far away from it. So your colors must be consistent so that it gives a very good look to the work, a very good look to the work. And also missing and unclear error bars. Yes, most of us, we do the work, we have picked values which we find the average, but we don't include the error bar for people to see that this is the error which has been found in it. It's very important. And this can make your work not to be accepted, because they will say if you have taken values from average, from 5 samples and you are taking the average, what is the error in this? You have not presented that. If that is not presented, it gives the work so hard to say, because now you are saying it is precise. But if you are picking values over a number of samples and you are now picking the average, then there's always an error which is in it. And this error must be presented. And yes. And some of us too, our answers are not labeled well. Yes, they are crowded. They are, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 in just a very short. It's overcrowded. There's a lot of things happening on the answers, which is not also advisable to do that. These are some of the petty mistakes we do. and we must carefully look at them before we. Yes, any questions so far or any contribution? Then we'll move to the next thing. Any question? Do anyone have a question on the result presentation? Any question? Oh, no question. I want to also say this. Okay, I think I something in the chat box. Okay. So I want to also say something that and in the result presentation, in the result aspect or section, it depends also in the field or the journal you are presenting to as well. Some journal requires that you mix the two together. That is the result and the discussion. But we are looking at it as we are presenting your result on its own before coming to discussion. So at this point, you don't talk about what is the implication. You don't discuss deeper into it to talk about what is, you just present them how they are. So let's keep note of that. In results section, you just present your data how it is. Yes, last week I asked that we download some articles and look at it. If anyone has downloaded any article and can share their screen with us, so we look at the results section, how it is being presented. Yes, okay. Our Dr. Gifty has raised her hand. Is there a question or you want to show us your screen? Sure, okay. So if you have any article there which the result part is there, I will stop my screen, then you share your screen. Then we'll all have a look at it before we go to the discussion part. Yes, Dr. Gifty, you have the screen. You have the screen now, you can share your screen.
Please, can you see my screen?
It's sharing now.
No.
Okay, it is here.
Okay. Oh, it's
It's the methodology.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. So yes, it's good you have read this paper. I'm so happy you have this here now. Yes, so what can we see happening on this paper, or what can we see that has gone in this paper now? Can you scroll up a bit? The theoretical models, the descriptive statistics. Okay, here. I think this part is okay. Oh, go up a little bit. Let me see. So this is data description and theoretical models. Yes, so this is where the person has present their data and the theoretical models which they develop. But what can we see when you scroll up? What can we see from this part? In the paper. Okay, yes, let me allow us to talk first before. Anyone? Anyone to share something with us? Dr. Gifty, which field are you in?
Finance.
Finance, okay. So as I said earlier on, most people present both the data and the discussion together. So we can see that that is exactly what is happening here too as well, where the data and the discussion has been merged together. So if you see the person present the data and he talks about it right under below it, or just after presenting the data, he talks or he discusses it right away before moving to the next thing. So this is how some journals accept or want it to be done. But in some other aspect, you see that in that section, it is only the data which is presented there, only the data which is presented. So I want you to scroll down again a bit for me to look at something. Yeah, I want to look at the maps so that I will show something there. These are the calculations the person has done. And yes, okay, this part is okay. The table, let's come back to the table first. Okay. I hope we are together. Yes. So if you look closely to the table, this table 4, you look closely to it. He's presenting the statistical values, the mean, the standard deviation, the maximum, and the minimum. That is what the person has presented in the table 4. And we advise that such things should be done. If you look at the graph below too, yes, this part is very loaded, but all the same, I think we can easily read from here. Can we see that part? The person has labeled it is load. It just because the words are 2006, 2007, because they have large digits or values. It has taken much space that sometimes it's clear enough to read from there. Yeah. So, but if you want to do your own, I would advise that you a little bit give space between them. You can increase the scale a little bit, or yes, increase the scale so that there will be spaces enough, spaces between them so that anyone who picks it can read it so quickly. Yes. So this is what we are talking about. You must label the axis. You must label the axis, what the axis stand for. Yes. You can see that the person has done exactly that, and is using the colors too very well, not too much loaded colors. And also with the, can you scroll up a bit also? You can see the legend or the key. No, go down for me, please. Sorry. I was saying go down. Oh, yeah, gone from the graph. I want the graph. That first graph we're looking at. I want us to look at the legend, the key. Even though it is here, but I want us to look at that part of it. Mr. Gifty, are you there?
Yes, please. I am at the map side. Can you see
No,
that?
I want to, yeah, I can see that part, but I want to look at the graph part. No, which is at the top. It's at the top. It's at the top. Yes, yes. You have gone too far.
Okay.
Is it my network or? God help me. Okay, let's go.
Mm.
I think I didn't pay close attention. Go. Yes, let's go. Okay, this figure. Yes, this part. It's okay. You can stop here. Figure 2. Yes, thank you so much. So if you look at here, you can see the legend. The person has put that there exactly to show what exactly is happening in the graph there. So when you look at the green, the blue part, you can tell what it is there. Who can tell me what the blue represents here in the chat box? Or if you can open your mic too and tell us.
Green finance.
Yes, blue finance. And that of the orange one. Okay, yeah, it stands for green finance. Yes, sorry. Then that of the orange.
Innovation.
Okay, then that of the ash one.
Environment.
So very important. You must bring this attached to your graph, which is the legend or the key. That will help people to read what exactly you are presenting there, because those are just graph or colors which you have placed there. But what is it? What does it represent in your work? So this part of the graph is very important. You must include it. It's very important. It's very, very important. So everyone who picks your work or look at your data will be able to read meaning out of it and know what this one means or what this one means. Okay, thank you so much, Sister Gifty. I want you to go to the map part of it, the map. Yes, yes. You can see that the same thing is happening here. Even though the colors are quite different, but you can see that the person maintains some specific colors, which the ash is still there, but he has gone a little bit to that of the yellow. But you can see that the colors are being consistent. There's still ash in them. You don't use those ones and move and deviate all the way from all the colors. No, you maintain them. You will be consistent with the colors, even though there will be a little changes, but you maintain them that it will be reflected throughout your work. Please, do we understand that? Any question?
My question on this part, on this part of result and discussion, I saw, as you said, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. As you said, there's some people who prefer to start from their results, then later they discussed better to the result they have presented. But also there are other studies that they combine both results and discussion at the same time. But also I would like to ask, within the discussion parts or within the result and the discussion parts, you find that they are trying to connect the results and the discussed literature review, like they cite some literatures, maybe to see the connection between what they were being discussed, scholarly what they said, and also what you got from the data collection and some other different types of data you had within the research part. So I would like to ask, or can someone bring a new citation within the discussion part which has not been discussed in the literature review?
That's a very good question. Thank you so much for that question. Yes. Okay, before I answer, I want to ask if anyone has a contribution or an answer to our brother before I come on then. Anyone? Okay, yes, Dr. Mauli.
Yes, my brother. Yes, you are allowed to do that because when you are discussing, you are situating your results in literature, or you are situating your results within the society. What has been found out? Maybe you have found something to be significant, but somewhere, maybe John Ray 2025 have found that age is significantly influencing maybe income. But in your work, you have found that age is having a negative significant impact on income. So you will say that, okay, your work, you have found, even though you have found positive, is contrary to what John Ray 2025 has found. So yes, it does not necessarily mean that you have to, your literature you review, everything has to be based on what the literature you cited. But at the result session, maybe a new finding has come when you're discussing your results. So you have to use it to situate your work. It actually help back your argument, because when you're explaining your results, you must situate it within the community or the body of knowledge that is already known in that particular area. So that is what I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that powerful contribution. I think Doc has answered you very well. And similarly, that's the same answer I will give to you. Yes, it is. Well, I think we have already finished the class for today, because that will be the last thing we are going to talk about in discussion. That it's not always that your citation must be in the literature review, because now you have your findings, you are about to discuss them. What has been done, or what if you find anything which is related or connected to it, it's good to cite them. As Dr. has said, it gives you the basis that this is indeed a good evidence. I believe we have given you a good answer. Any other question, or if you have any other question to add to that?
Now what I'm getting from, like as you said, you can maybe cite some related to what you discussed within the literature review, or you may find something new which has not been said within a literature review, and also you can get other new citation maybe from other perspective based to the data you got. That's what you want to mean?
Yes, yes. You can have
Okay,
new
okay,
references or citations which you have not put them into your literature review, but they help back what you are saying now with your findings.
Okay. If you don't mind, can I ask you something about data?
Feel free.
Okay. When we are writing systematic review paper or mapping review, some of the time, like when we are using that Prisma, that is where we said we tried to sort out this or that, references or these or papers, then till we included this and we excluded this. And then if we say maybe we included within this study, maybe 70 or 30 papers. So does that mean that is 30 papers that has been included, are they going to be cited within that work, or it just mean that you are only using it for collecting and analyzing data?
Okay, so now you are talking about a review paper, right?
Yeah, review
Okay.
paper, systematic review paper.
Okay. Any contribution before I come on that as well? But okay, no, you let me wait first. Yeah, there are a lot. The question is not for only me; it's for all of us, and I strongly believe we have. Yes, so
yeah, I understand.
The floor is open. Anyone who wants to share idea or have any contribution to help our brother understand this concept is highly welcome. Okay. Anyone? Okay, my brother, if I understand you very well.
Can I share some paper B?
Okay, Dr. Irene, just hold on for now. Let's answer our brother, then we'll come back to you. Okay, Dr. Mauli, yes, your hands are up. You can speak to us.
Yes, Prisma is one of the approaches you use in systematic literature review. So the one you are saying you have included is the paper you have actually look at in your work. That is in direction with your thematic areas that you are working towards. So those papers you have included is what you have reviewed. That's what you have used in your analysis, because the one that you have excluded, you have a basis for excluding them because perhaps maybe their keywords or maybe their abstract or maybe their exposition is not in direction to whatever you want. So the one you have included is what you have reviewed, what you have included in your work. So that is why you say you are using a Prisma approach. Because Prisma approach, you have to download a lot, and based on your thematic areas, you exclude some and you include some. So the one you've included is what you have look at, and that's what you are using to write your literature review paper or systematic review paper. That's what I want to explain. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Mauli. Yes, I'm also adding to that. Yes, if you have gone to say you have 30 papers, then you must work with that 30 papers you have said you have gone for, or you have stated that this is what you have. And it is very important you stick to that and work with that. Because if you say you have 30 papers which you are including into your work, it means that, as doctor have said right away, it means that you have carefully looked at them and they align with your objective, or they align with what you want to do. So that means each of them has a role which they'll play, that your goal or your aim will be achieved. So it's very important you work with them, or you keep them and work with them. Yeah, thank you so much. I strongly believe we answered you.
Okay, one more. Yes, what you are saying is true, but I tried nowadays to check some of different systematic review papers. I found, yes, what you are saying is correct, but when I check on the reference, maybe reference list, if they said there is one of the paper which they used 143, like they included 143 papers. But when I checked for their reference list, I didn't find all these 143. So I was trying to say, oh, what this mean then if they included this, but I couldn't find them on the reference list. That's why I raised up that question.
Oh, okay, Dr. Mauli.
Yes, you have seen that because at the end of the day, the person has sample, okay, sample 143 papers. But within that sample, maybe there are some that when he zero it in down, at the end of the day, you see that he will tell you the actual number that he used at the end of the analysis or in his explanation. So out of that 143, there are more key uh, literature that is more focused on what he's doing. So it is based on what that is going to reference on. Because he said he started with 143. There's one you say he started with 500. But when he's narrowed down, you may see that it narrowed down to 60. So it is just telling us in other, well, let's say a primary data session, he's telling us that this is how he has sampled. So out of this, sample this. And out of that sample, when he's writing, he has now focused on this specific number. So read that particular paper very well. You will see exactly what I'm telling you indicated there. So
Yes,
it's not
okay,
that you are going to see 143 as a reference. You're going to see the specific one that he has well in right up. Thank you. I don't know whether this helps you.
Okay, thank you.
I want to say this, that in our next class, we'll be talking about literature review, systematic
Okay.
review, and I think that will help you a lot to understand this. Yes, the state may be 150 or 200, but as Doc have said, they may come to specific number they use. And that number they use, the reference list should not, I'm strongly believe it to not be less than that number they said they have used. And most of them will be found in the reference list. So maybe next class, let's try and join. We'll talk more about that. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, Dr. Irene, you had a question, Dr. Irene Asamo.
Okay.
We can hear you now. Do you still have your question?
I'm okay.
You're okay now? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Any other question before we move on? Then we'll talk about the last part, which is the discussion for today's class. Then we'll call it a day. All right. Okay. Dr. Gifty, can I please share my screen now?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Can my screen be seen now?
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to discussion. Yes, the discussion part of it. He said, what does that your result you presented earlier on, what does it mean? Now it is time for you to tell us what it means, what it represents. You now interpret your findings to us and connect it to the broader context which you have stated in the introduction, or to your theories or your objectives. It must be linked to each other. So basically, your discussion part, you must interpret your findings. Yes, it is time for you to tell us, okay, when I found that this value is this, it means that this one went to this or this happened to this. Now you interpret them. You explain to us whether your result is able to answer your objective which you have stated or your hypothesis which you have stated. So it's very important. You explain now, you interpret, you address them research question by research question in a systematic way. And also you link them. This is the section where you link to the theories which you have stated. If you have theories in your work, you link them to it. You connect it to say, okay, this one means that this theory holds, or this findings or this data which we presented in the data section, the resource section, this explanation, or you now tell us how it is connected to your theory or connected to your objectives. Yes, so this part of the work is where you explain. This is where you have come to tell us that what it means, what is the essence of what you have done. This is the part where you talk now, you make your argument. This is the part where you now come with your argument. And also, as we said earlier on, you can include references. You can add new references to it to say that this is backed by this also. And this result show that this can be also be what implemented or is done. You must also, this part of the work where you bring limitation and further direction as well. Last time we look at it, that what has been your limitation, you address the weakness of your paper. Yes, the weakness of your paper is very important. Yeah, because we strongly believe in the scholarly community that there's nothing which is perfect. Anyhow you do it, there is something which may be the weakness of that, and that must be stated. You must be honest and state that in your work. And when you state that and you now show what can be done in the future or to work on, so that helps get the research gap for your paper or when someone pick it. But it's not to make it look like that your paper is very weak. No, that is not the aim, but to make people understand that there is something which can be done more. You are creating room to say that, yes, I've worked on this, it has bring this improvement, but you strongly believe that something can be also be done in this aspect to increase the credibility or to make the thing go further, because we believe that we are not stopping at where we learn to. We keep learning every day, and there must be an improvement on everyday thing we do. So we don't stop at one place. So you look into the future, what can be done to make it better, to make it look so good is very important. So the limitation and further future direction, this part of it where you keep them. So in summary, the key discussion element is that you summarize your findings, your key findings, not all the findings. So you may send the questionnaires out there, but it is not all of the things you have received, all the data you must include. It is the key ones, the very key ones, the key ones that support your objective or your aim. That is the ones you are bringing in, and you must summarize them, you must explain them, you must restate them, why it is important, the most important results, you state them. You now do comparison analysis or comparison literature, you compare them, you agree, and what are the contradictions between your work and other work, you make the explanation. So these are the key things you must look out for when you are doing your discussion. And the theoretical implications, what does it implement? What are the implications of what you are doing? What important is it? And the practical application aspect of it, can this be implemented in the real world? Very important, very important. Can this be implemented in the real world? The practical application part of it, you must also state that, and how beneficial it is for us in the real world. So any research you do, you must look at that part. So the critical principle, which I've stated down there, if someone can read that part for us, I'll be so much grateful. So I'll be sure that we are all on the same page.
Principle.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm sorry. Yes, back. Yes, you can read.
Critical principle. The discussion should not include new results. All claims must be supported by data presented in the results
Section. Yes. So
section.
this part of the work, you are not coming to introduce any new result again. All what you have to do is that we are going to make claims to support what you have presented in the data, the results section. No new thing, no new data. You don't present your reliability in section to say it is 0. What do we use, the Kovac Alpha or any of them? You don't present them. Then you don't come and change the value there and say, no, because of the discussion, it is this value. No. You must stick to what you present there and make claims to support it. Very important. Very important. So this principle is very critical. Let's not forget. Any question in this part? Any question? Do anyone have a question or contribution to add to it? No question, no contribution. Okay, then I'll summarize everything for. Yeah, so basically, this is what we looked at. We looked at the IMR framework or the structure. We said it must follow this pattern or it flows in this order. Where we said we have the introduction, we have the introduction where you establish your territory, you identify the gap, you state your objective, or you present your hypothesis. So the introduction part of your work, this must be done in that part. And then we said the next thing you look at part 4 is, okay, the next thing you look at for is the methods, where you put a document or you detailed everything, procedures which you have gone on to achieve what you want to do, or you have stated in your objective in the introduction. You now state them here. You describe your participants, you describe your materials you use, you report on the kind of analysis plan you have put in place that you're going to use to analyze your result when it comes out. So when we look at the paper our sister shared, when we go back, I'll let her share again so that we look at that part of it again, where in the method part where the person states the kind of statistics or how he's going to analyze the result. Then also we look at the results section where you present only your data in a figure form or in a table form, highlighting the key findings, That is very important. It's not all the findings you find, you got out of the field there, you present it, but the key ones, the ones which is helping you to achieve your goal or your objective is the ones you present here. You present them here, you present them there. So this section is for you to present your objective. And we said, if you have patterns or trends, it is advisable to use a figure or a graph where you can present them. But when you have precise measurement or statistical values, you can use tables to present them to give a clear view. And we also say that they must be clear. You shouldn't use too much 3D effect in your data presentation. It should be less of them, and your key data must be clear enough that when they pick it, they can see it easily. And we also say you must include a legend or a key that when they pick your figure, they'll be able to read that this one on this graph or this chart or figure, it means this. You must add that to it. It's very important. Then we talked about the discussion section. The discussion section, we said that is where you interpret what you have presented in your result. You interpret, you now explain to us, you now make your argument. This is the time for you to now talk about what you have done, what it means. Yes, I said I want to do this, but when I went, I found out this. So this once it means that this has been done. Yes, this is the point where you make your argument, you make your point, you make your solid point because of the data you have. It gives you the chance to now talk about it into details. And we also say you address the limitation of your work, and you also link it to your theories in this section, and also suggest a further work which can be done or further research which can be done on your work. Yes, thank you so much. Any question or any contribution? Then we'll bring our class to an end today. We'll have some few minutes to have a little discussion, then we'll end. Any question? My sister, I will humbly request you share your screen again. I'm going to, or any other person who has a paper to share with us. Dr. Rebecca, you want to say something? Sorry. Okay, thank you so much. Can you scroll all down? Let's look at it. Any question? Any question? Yes, let's go. Okay, now go back to that table there. Okay, yeah, you can keep this one. You can keep this one. I'm sorry. Yes, when you look at this one thing, I would like to point out, very important too, we must look at. He has added asterisk to these values. You can see that he has added asterisk to some of the values in his table. Someone will ask, why did the person did that? Even though I've not read the whole paper to know what is going on, but it can tell me that these values are very important values. So when you have very important values in your table, you can add maybe asterisk to it. But when you do that, you must state it below the table that this is what it means. As we said, you must give a description to what this means or why this asterisk has been added to this value. But when I just look at it, it's directly telling me that these values are very key values in his work or her work. So if you have key values in your work and you're presenting them in a table form, you can add asterisk to it. You can add asterisk to it. Okay, you can go on. Oh. Yes. Hold on now. Thank you so much, Dr. 50. So you can see. Can we see that? It's a note. T statistics are what provided in what parentheses, and we place that asterisk. Double asterisk means that P is what than 0.01. So 2 asterisk means this, and 1 asterisk means this. So it means that it is a very important value there. When you look at the table, he or she has placed a very good description here for you to know that these values which has asterisk are very important to the data he or she is presenting there. Any question? Any question? Yes, this was one of the questions our brother also asked. As you can see from this part, the person has made a reference. Can my whiteboard marker be seen? In this research article, the person presents both the data and the discussion together. So once he's presenting the data, he or she is making the discussion already. Yes. So you can see once he or she is discussing, is citing references to back he or she, her claims. What he's making there, he's inserting what references. He's inserting references. So you can insert references in your discussion part. When you know that it backs what you have there, you insert that. Okay. Any question? You can scroll up again. Let's see. Yes, so based on the objective, is presenting them based on the objective he has. So if we go back to read the introduction, you can see that it will, I'm very much sure, pretty sure that it will follow the order in which he or she has presented the objective in the work, and is following in that order to present the data and discussion. Yes, you can still go up. So as you can see, these are statistical values. They keep them in tables. They are all found in tables. Yes, you can go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Yes, stop here. Please stop here. I want to use this to advise us to join the up one. You have noticed this time around, this table has been turned upside down. It has been turned in a different way compared to the rest of the table. Yes, so if you see works like this, don't be scared, don't be worried. Hey, you'll start asking yourself, well, how can I do this? Please, I would advise you, if you are here and you want to be a good writer, join the advanced MS class, the Microsoft class. It will help you to know how to do all these things, because Prof is doing a good job there to teach all this. Yeah, thank you so much. You can go on. Okay, there are a lot of work here. There are a lot of things which have been done here. Okay, thank you so much. So as you can see, once the person is presenting the data, is going along with what the discussion, and we said that is also acceptable. They do that as well. So you present your data and you also talk about what you do the discussion alongside with it, and it's very important. Any question? Any question? Any contribution? Do anyone has a question? Any question? Hey, so you mean you understood everything we shared today? Okay, I'll go back again, then we'll end the class, then we'll have a short discussion before we close. Yes, yes, I believe that as we have gone through this lesson twice, that of the structure form, which is the IMR, I believe that we'll be able to master this structure where we can put our work in order. It must follow a structure or convection, which help that the community can understand what we want to communicate to them. So we said one of them is the structure. You follow the structure in this order. We have the introduction where you set the state on. You now introduce with the broader knowledge. You now talk about what you want to do. You find what is missing there, and you try to fill in. Then now you come to the M, which is the method, where you now state how or how you are going to do that, how you are going to be able to achieve what you want to do. So in the method part, you state systematically or in a orderly form how you'll be able to achieve what you want to do. Then that of the result, you state, present your facts which you found, your data, your raw data, you present them in that section. And we said the discussion part is where you interpret or make meaning out of your data. And this is the blueprint or the blueprint where we follow to communicate our ideas or our whatever we found out there to make the impact into the world. This is how we communicate it in the scholarly form. So if anyone don't have any question or contribution to share, then we'll end the class for today. Any question? Okay. I'll humbly request Dr. Irene, you can. Please, can you pause the recording for us?